Good evening, Superintendent Watson and Board of Ed. If you can give me just 1 second to pull up my presentation. Okay, so thank you for having me this evening. I'm here, I know we're talking about so many students returning to in-person instruction, but I'm here tonight to give you an update on what's happening with Bloomfield Virtual. And so one of the things I just want to share is that our goal, whether in person or in our Bloomfield Virtual, which I'm so happy that we have this option for families to offer, is that our goal as students come in this year is to meet students where they are, really getting to know them. Some might have continued from Bloomfield Virtual last year, and some this may be new. But our goal, just like in any scenario, is that we want to make sure we have a learner-centered classroom, that we're creating classroom community spaces and fostering relationships with our children and meeting them where they're at as they come in this fall. We are working on creating a sense of belonging in all of our classrooms and making sure that whether they're in person or virtual, that they have all the offerings, right? And that includes the farm and the nature center and other potential field trips and things, and so that our spaces are very similar and fostering the kinds of relationships and academics that we want with all of our students. We are also continuing to focus on our portrait of a learner, which includes inquiry and understanding multiple perspectives, respectful dialogue, grappling with complexities, and taking responsible action. And so we will continue to focus on that in Bloomfield Virtual, just as last year. What does a typical day look like in Bloomfield Virtual? And we know that we have new start and end times this year. So we are going to mimic in-person instruction as much as possible and keep Bloomfield Virtual as much as the same as last year, as much as possible. So our students will start at 9:10. That's when the school day begins. And typically teachers start with a morning meeting or community time or circle time where they meet and get to know the students and ask questions and have discussions and really get to know the other children and learn about them and learn about each other. And then instruction happens. This is when our teachers will start math workshop, reading workshop, writing workshop. So they'll have instruction following our academic curriculum that we have in Bloomfield Hills. And embedded within that morning time, students will have creative arts. They'll have physical education, Spanish, media, art, music. They'll have a nice time for lunch and recess, and obviously we're going to build in movement breaks for the kids. I know teachers have lots of apps that they use where kids can dance and get up and move and do fun activities during the day. And then after our nice lunch and recess break, we come back in the afternoon to continue with our instruction, continuing either math instruction, literacy instruction, science, social studies. Teachers do read aloud to make sure they're building that love of reading throughout the school year. And then our end of the day wrap-up routines. We'll end and conclude our day with students. So very much mimicking what in-person instruction looks like in the online virtual format. And all of our students, K through 5, will be taught by our own BHS staff. I'm sure you're curious to know what our current enrollment is looking like at this point in time. So as of yesterday, and I checked it again before I came here to present to you this evening, we currently have 58 students enrolled in K through 5 and 23 students in 6 through 8. And so when we look at having teachers supporting those classrooms in K through 5, we currently are having a combination of a kindergarten first grade class with 11 students, second grade with 13 students, third and fourth grade with 17, and a fifth grade with 17 students currently. And when we look at grades 6 through 8, we have 23 students. And so what I want to mention here at this point is that with grades 6 through 8, there is currently not enough enrollment to support a district virtual program with our BHS teachers in grades 6 through 8. And so our plan right now at this time is to offer VLAC, which is Virtual Learning Academy Consortium, which is through Oakland schools. And our students will be supported through that particular programming to meet the individual needs of our 6 through 8 students. And they will be assigned a mentor from their home building particularly a counselor and interventionist or someone that will support them in making sure that they're on track, that they're sticking with their programming, so that when students come back or decide to come back in person, there is continuum and continuity with our curriculum as well, and that students are on pace when they come back. So that's where we are at this time with total enrollment and where we're at with our particular programming based on enrollment. Many of the questions, and I've been answering families individually since it was announced that I was taking over as the Bloomfield Virtual Administrator. And so a lot of families have reached out to ask, how do I sign up for Bloomfield Virtual? So we're reminding families, and we've posted this on the website as well, that they are to go into their parent portal as part of the normal registration process and make sure they check the box for Bloomfield Virtual. Myself and Tawn Hill, our enrollment supervisor, we are running reports daily to keep an eye on the numbers to see if there's any trends up or down to watch what we have. So we would ask that families please make that selection no later than August 30th so that we can finalize our staffing for our Bloomfield Virtual program. As far as students with IEPs or 504s, we see that we, for the most part, will have similar programming to last year, where kids will participate in the general education program virtually, and then meeting with their resource room teacher and their interventionist, their social worker, their speech and language pathologist as normal. And we're working out additional programming for our ARP, FRP, and DHH students, and we're coordinating that with Jen Perone this year so we can make sure all of our students are supported. Will there be opportunities for our students to maintain relationships with the homeschool? Well, of course, as much as we can. If families have enrolled in the same grade as a child from a building, we're going to make sure that they're placed together in a classroom. We're going to make sure there's communication with the homeschool so that students can participate in activities and clubs and athletics and everything that our district has to offer if they so choose. And then, obviously, just like our elementary buildings and our middle school, we send out weekly newsletters and updates to our families, and they can count on that same familiar format of communication from me as the Bloomfield Virtual Administrator. We'll have information on our website as well as constant email communication and newsletters updating families as to what is happening or what events and things that they want to participate in and hear about with Bloomfield Virtual. That's all I have for you at this time.
Thank you, Carrie.